Hey, Aaron here. So let's throw a Hail Mary. I hope I'm saying it right. As I've had the opportunity only twice to see American football, and I loved it. So this is the idea came from. So let's throw a Hail Mary, and of course, um, I'll explain you what's the idea behind it all the way down. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like my channel, and we'll see you now with all the explanation. Using my parting tool, my new friend, and I just need the center of this piece of beautiful wood, um, and let's go. The wood that I'm using, it used to be a leftover from another project that I made. I don't know if you remember it, but I will put a mark here on top. You will see a link to this project where this one was a leftover for it. So now what I'm creating the center of my idea of the project. It's going to be a football, an American football smashing a glass, and that came as a part of the um, cross-channel YouTube cross-channel challenge for the May month, and it's supposed to be something that looks like a picture or something that if you ever look at it, you'll understand what you're doing. So that will be the half of the ball, and I'm going to put around it some resin, and you will see it's going to be like a few part of resin. I'm going to sink it in resin, and you saw in the beginning I folded up with putty so the resin won't go in, so I'll still have the recess so I can use it later as a recess. Of course, pressure pot, trying to eliminate as much as possible the air bubbles, and a day later I've done it less than 24 hours, and the reason for that is that I want the resin to be slightly soft. So I didn't allow that to cure 100%. I allowed it to cure 95%. So it's not tacky by touch, but it's still soft. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig in between the um, the resin and the wood, and I'm going to create like a wave, like a V shape inside. It's like um, the resin is around it is a little bit further than the wood, and you will see now what I'm doing is that's you see here now I'm going to do some cuts into the resin. That's why I left it. I didn't left it actually. I took it out of the pressure pot a little bit earlier, so I'll have the opportunity to use a knife to do some cuts. And those cuts should be when I'll finish with the whole thing, and I'll cut some of them and I'll break some of them and I'll open them. It will look like the pieces of glass that came out when the ball hit and shattered the whole glass. I'm forcing the leftover from a tape to fit inside, and then what I'm doing by that, because of the angle, it opens the flaps. You see, it opened the flaps, and now it's a little bit harder and drier, and will continue. For the background of this glass, I'm using African black wood. It's got a lot of waves and a lot of holes. I treated that. It's a beautiful wood to work with. Um, it gets polished very easy, and when you machine it right and when you cut it right, it's beautiful. However, it creates a lot of dust and a huge mess. So I have to use a special bandana for my head, and I'm going to get completely blacked out. I'm creating a tenet so I can turn it around and create on the other side another tenet and a vessel for the resin. Now I'm starting to do the front of the project. Um, one frame, one video frame that I had, just I lost it. I don't know, it was corrupted. But basically, what I done was I start doing the vessel, and in the middle there you can see there is a tenet that I start making. Um, and now I'm going to create the right shape of the tenet. But however, also you will see that the size of the tenet that I'm doing here, it's going to be the same size of the, actually a few millis less of the recess that I had on the Paduk, the one that looks like the ball. If you work with African blackwood, you'll notice one thing. If you have a good sharp tool and you have like a carbide tool, very sharp, very or a good scraper, when you finish scraping or working with a carbide, you really don't have to almost polish at all. You don't have to sandpaper it at all. It's coming out so beautiful, unbelievable. No tears whatsoever on African blackwood. No tears. It's like it's so hard that leaves it almost. You don't have to use sandpaper at all. Now I'm turning it back again, and I'm going to finish the base of it, because I won't be able to come to this thing again later. So whatever I do, when I finish with here with the back, that will be the end of it. I won't be able to at all to go back and work on the base of it. So I need to be sure that I know what I want to do, I design it properly, um, and I'm executing it properly. That was the recess that I made for my what you call it, logo. I'm running into a little bit of a problem with the back of it. I tried to put a Yorkshire grid, and it gone into some waves, and I need to polish it now again with sandpaper. The first time I'm using sandpaper on this project. And now after that, I'm putting again Yorkshire grid. I'm going to use only Yorkshire grid, nothing else, because it will be so shining that you don't need anything else. Look at it. It it's amazing. Now the other side, I won't be able to do any changes. You will see later why. Into the vessel that we discussed it about, um, I'm going to pour resin. It's too big for me to put it in a pressure pot. So I'll put it in an aluminum container, and then I'll put a cover it. And now it's finished. And the same thing I'm doing here, I'm taking it out, or I'm start working with it when it's still a little bit wet, not wet, slightly soft. So I can cut the lines. If you look at the glass that it's broken, that something hits a glass, it comes with straight lines, and then you will see some more lines crossing over. And I'm trying to imitate this thing now. If it's a success, I don't know, you'll have to let me know. If I succeeded with the vision of a broken glass that was broken by a ball. That's uh, that's how I'm going to make it look like the glass that's shattered. it started getting the shape of what I want, and now I'm going to break the pieces that um, I wanted to lose some pieces on purpose. I give it a little bit more depth into this thing, and now I'm starting to create a little bit of a shape and give the features of American football. Um, I'm trying. I'll fill up the grooves with white paint, and that will be like those um, cable that goes inside. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put resin um, to give it a little bit of a shine on the wood, and of course also on the glass. But this resin that I use this time, I'm using a UV activated resin, also from Alumilite, and I made my own blue light from LEDs, and now I'm going to do the features of the outside of the ball that I saw in some pictures. It's like four lines where the ball is sewed together, and I'm trying to do that. Um, it didn't come the way that I wanted, so I increased the lines, and I used black paint to paint it inside to let it like a well-used ball. Um, that's got a little bit of wear and tear on it. Hey, so this is my take on what you see, something that you can understand, something that you can, a photo that you transferred it to wood turning. I made a football smashing a glass. I hope you can see it. I call it a Hail Mary that gone wrong. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe to my channel, remarks, and like my channel. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. A Hail Mary that's gone wrong. I hope you like it. The wood is black African wood. Resin for art. And of course I used also a small piece of paduk. So, Hail Mary, gone wrong. Cheers! See you in the next video!